Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
First, I want to shout out his dojo, Dogwood Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and he's also starting one in Kenton, Tennessee for private lessons and more, so be on the lookout for that. My question is, how has your mindset changed from your first fight to your most previous fight?
Man, in general, there's been just a difference in confidence over my last two fights as opposed to my first fight. A lot of that being fight nerves, stuff like that. But dude, yeah, just right now I got a different type of swagger about me.
I can see it from your first fight to now. Now you look way more calm and way less rushed to like go do damage and go get something going or something. You kind of read your opponent. You kind of stay back and see what they're going to do. That way it sets up counters better, because if you get them lunging forward coming after you, then that's so many counters, and that's just an easier way to fight of waiting for them to do something wrong so you can capitalize on that. And I see that. You don't rush into people. You're not like, I gotta finish this faster than anything, because the main goal is you gotta win.
Yep.
It's cool to knock somebody out in 10 seconds or to submit them first round, but the main goal is you gotta win.
Yep.
So if that's you taking your time, that's just what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of my favorite things that GSP ever said. Is a lot of amateur fighters make this mistake, is like as soon as when the bell rings, they're just at it. They're so tense.
You can see the like jitters, and they're like, oh, I gotta go do something.
And GSP said one time that something that fighters have to remember is that the fight doesn't start when the bell rings. The fight starts when you decide to start it.
Right.
So yeah, there's definitely I've definitely come more into that filling out process at the beginning of my fights. Kind of, you'll see me kind of a lot of footwork, a lot of dancing around on the edge, kind of getting a read, trying to pick up little ticks that whoever I'm fighting is giving me. And it's definitely helped, honestly. Like
especially amateur fighting, 'cause you don't have a lot of film or a lot of you don't have a lot of pre-fight knowledge over somebody. It's those first 10 seconds, 30 seconds could tell you a lot about somebody, especially dancing around with them. It shows a lot.
Yep. And it also helps with cardio, to be honest, because and there's another one, I can't remember who said it, but I think a lot of people don't realize that with cardio in fights, having good cardio, like doing conditioning, doing stuff like that is good and will help you. But a lot of cardio in fighting comes from your technical ability and being more technical with how you approach things.
Yeah. And using your energy at the right moments.
Yes.
You can't waste all your energy when you're not getting anything done.
Yep.
Then, when it's time that you have an opportunity to strike or to grapple or whatever, you don't have energy left. You spent too much time dancing around trying to do all this foo-foo shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like watching fights on the outside. I haven't bridged into fighting myself because I'm scared, but it's so interesting just to see the one-on-one, like I'm trying to get you, you're trying to get me, and I'm reading you, you're reading me. It's literally chess.
Mental chess.
Yeah, it's mental chess, or it's physical too.
Chess.
It's both. Yeah, it's chess, but you can get punched in the face. Yeah. And my next question is, what has improved most since you started fighting?
Back to the first one. Definitely just my mentality and
Your brain,
mindset.
basically.
Yes,
Your
my
brain.
confidence. Really, I mean, when you're a young fighter, it's hard. I mean, even later on, especially like if anything happens, because I mean, fighting's fighting. You can always get caught. You can always get beat.
Yep.
So just keeping that same swagger into every fight, that same amount of confidence, and having faith in your skills, and knowing that you put the time in, you put the work in, and that when you go in there, you can almost go on autopilot.
Right.
And just having that level of confidence in your skills, just keeping that is very difficult.
I would say I've seen that improvements in you, especially just knowing you from like high school and stuff. Emotional flares and not being able to control like losing or like getting mad at yourself and stuff. I don't see that nearly as much anymore. It's like probably because you've been beat a few times, you've been smacked around a few times, and you realize like you can't let your emotions get the best of you
No.
because that just makes it worse. Now you're fighting with emotions and they're picking you apart.
Yep.
It's I've definitely seen that improvement.
Yeah, it's definitely a humbling sport. So,
If you could give yourself one piece of advice, say like week one of you starting to train, you looking back, what would be that piece of advice?
mm,
That's kind of a heavy one. That's one that's kind of tough.
that's when you got to think about it a little
Yeah.
bit. Man, I don't know. There's so much you can tell yourself week one. Stick with it, obviously,
Yeah.
which I have up to this
Yeah.
point. That's what I would tell a lot of week oneers, because I mean, you get so many people that,
They're not instantly good at it,
yes,
and they're like,
and
I don't want to be up here getting my
yes, and
getting my
athletes are the
smacked
worst,
around.
because that's the thing about fighting is like you can be as athletic as you want, and you're so used to winning all your
Hmm.
life, and you've been so good at everything
So
all
I
your
used to
life.
being naturally like
Yes,
gifted at
gifted,
things.
and then you go in there, and you definitely still have the ones that are gifted and pick things up sooner than others. But like when it's not, immediate, or they get beat by anybody, they crumble and they're like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. So that's what I would tell all week oneers. But me personally, man, if I could go back and tell my week one self the whole mentality thing and just keeping your cool and staying calm under pressure and um embracing that sooner, I definitely would have won that Hicks fight.
Yeah. Which one was that? The one in
That was
Jackson?
the one in Jackson.
Yeah,
That was the one in Jackson.
Yep.
So, yeah, we may touch back on that question at the
Okay.
end of the pod.
Do you see yourself fighting more in the future or training?
Both. I think when I started this whole fighting thing, it was more of a bucket list. It's like, man, I've been training for this long.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't train this long and not fight. I know you
Right.
can, but
You can,
yeah,
but
but I'm like, man,
it's cool to put yourself to the test.
yeah, I'm young. I'm like, let's get a fight under our belt. Let's just say we've done it, and then you do one, and then it's like, okay, promoter's calling you again. You
Right.
do another, and then now it's
You
just
feel
like,
you feel that adrenaline in there. I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah, and
it's
then
kind of an addicting thing. That adrenaline and that like pressure can be very addicting.
especially after you start winning a little bit and you get that high of the win too, and it's just like, okay, we're in this now. Like, there's no turning back. So, so both definitely. If you're talking long term, I mean, I'll train until I'm on my deathbed if I can.
That's one of my questions was, do you think you'll train the rest of your life?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'll train the rest of my life, and any kid I have will train too. I'm not going to make any kid I have fight, obviously. Like, I'm not going to force them to compete, but as long as
You're
they're
gonna
in
be
my
wrestling
house,
with your kids in the living room.
yes, they will be training. Yeah.
Teaching them leg triangles.
There's too many positive benefits that
Right.
come from it, and not negatives,
Right.
no negative benefits at all.
To me personally,
consequences at all.
Exercise. The message I've been promoting is mental and physical health directly aligned. So if you're mentally unhealthy, that probably means your body's unhealthy. And if you go get your body healthy, your brain will follow.
Yeah.
And your brain will be proud of you. Your brain will be in a much better place if your body is physically healthy. And training and fighting is one of those. It's cardio, it's strength, it's mental challenges of putting yourself in a challenge and you overcome it or you fail and you just learn from it. That's healthy. That's healthy for your brain and body.
That's the biggest thing is the even with jujitsu, the man, I help coach the kids class at our gym, and just seeing some of those kids develop, and a lot of it being, I think, because of jujitsu, it teaches how to handle adversity. How to when things going tough and shit hits the fan, being able to stay calm under pressure and think things out, and keep a level head and make smart decisions.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing, and of course, like the physical benefits from it are you've experienced them. You know what kind of.
Oh man, it's the craziest amount of cardio ever. It's something about the adrenaline gets your heart pumping too, because you don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's natural instinct for a human to not really want to be put in an arm bar or a chokehold or something. So as soon as that starts to happen, your body and brain starts racing of like, I got to get out of this. And
Yeah.
you got to start moving and squirming and pushing. You got to try to find ways to get out of it. And it's just heart's just boom, 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 boom,
The
boom.
whole time.
Even when you're playing around with a friend, you get down there like you're going to wrestle or you square up like you're going to fight. Your heart starts beating a little faster. Yours might not do it as much anymore because you're so common to it. But me, even when like we're just like when you're holding the bags for me, or we're just squaring up, just dancing, my heart gets pumping a little fast because I'm scared to get hit in the face. It don't happen to me often. Like I don't want that to happen. I'm nervous about it.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be ranked in the state? So you've been training for how many years?
6 years total.
6 years, and this is the first time you've seen yourself like on the internet with like a number besides your name. Like,
well, no, I mean you're always there. Like once you have your first amateur fight, like your
really?
number's there.
What was your rank after your first one?
Oh, like 100 and something, 103, 104.
Okay, and your rank now is
34.
34.
34th in Tennessee. Like
all of Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I think 185, I think, in the Southwest. Let me look it up. I got the numbers right here.
34 out of like 185.
That's no cool, total. I don't know how many totals in Tennessee. I have to go back and look. And then we're number 225 out of 700 in the U.S. Southwest, and then 859th in North America out of almost 3,000. So, puts it into perspective, though. I mean, just how
there's really not that many fighters.
Not at the amateur level.
Yeah, there's not.
Which there's probably less at the pro level.
North America, there's about 3,000 that are ranked. So that means
just under 3,000.
Anybody who's had amateur fight is ranked.
So okay, actually, there's more than that. So this is in my weight class.
Okay.
So there's.
But still, I mean,
100 and something lightweight amateurs in Tennessee. There's 673 amateurs in the U.S. lightweight amateurs in the U.S. Southwest, and then 2,600 in North America. So
it's pretty crazy. Yeah. It's not nearly as many as I thought.
So if you're counting, if you keep that average through all weight classes, you're talking fly, like,
what weight class are you?
Bounce back and forth between welter and light. I'm trying to get consistent at light. My problem has been finding lightweight's 155. By the way, my problem's been finding opponents that can make 155, like that don't give me a problem making 155. Like for this last fight, it was supposed to be at 155, and they messaged us a little prematurely. I thought like it was like a month and a half out, 2 months out, and they were saying that they couldn't make 155, and I was like, what? But that besides the point. And so we ended up having to catch it like 160.
They couldn't do 5 pounds in a month and a half.
Well, he was probably higher than that.
He was probably like 170 or almost like, oh, I can't do 15 pounds.
We can't get all the way down. But yeah, we ended up catching it 160. But I fought mainly at welterweight, which is 170. But like I said, I'm a super small welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, so how long did you stay after my fight the other night?
I think I left right before.
Did you see the 8 card? Did you see? Okay, so you saw the 8-second knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the dude I debuted against. The guy that got that 8-second knockout. I talked to him backstage because we were in the same corner, and we're pretty tight with their gym. Yeah. Like Memphis Judo and Jiu Jitsu guys, we're pretty close with them. So anytime we're at an event together, we chop it up, whatever. We'll cross train with them every now and then. And I was talking to Manny backstage, and he said that he walks around at like plus 195,
and then he fights at
170. And then that's who I debuted against. So like, dude, I'm just super undersized because I was walking around at like 175 and like cutting 5 pounds to make it. And then day of the fight, I'm still walking around at like 169, 170 after the weight cut. Like I wasn't putting anything back on because I didn't have anything to put back on. Right. Whereas like for this one the other night, we caught at 160. So I weighed in at 160 on Friday, and by fight I was 169. Pushing 170.
How big of a difference do you think weight plays? Let's do 5 pounds. So somebody has 5 pounds on you. Can you tell that like they're heavier than you and they're
If they're trained, yeah. Yeah, weight definitely. Like if you're talking train versus train, yeah, weight definitely makes a difference. I mean, obviously there's weight classes for a reason.
right?
Um, so yeah, you can definitely feel it. You feel it a lot in the punches. Like dudes got. So like I think when me and Manny fought, he was walking around at like 184 when we fought, and I was still at like 160, 168, 169. Um, so like it's a
It's like a noticeable
Oh,
difference that he's
big
got
big
weight on
difference.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. And you definitely feel it in the punches. You feel it like in the grappling exchanges. I mean, because you're moving a lot more
Mm-hmm.
weight. If they're on top, there's a lot more pressure down on you. So yeah, you definitely feel the weight difference when you're talking trained versus trained.
Yeah. What are the effects of the weight cut, and how do you prepare for like that fast?
So with the fast, because I talked to you about the
Uh-huh.
fast, like so with this last fight, which I was pretty sloppy with my diet after they messaged us about being on a catch weight and everything. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty lazy with my diet. Like I was I was eating like crap, and so I ended up having a pretty hard cut I had to make at the last couple days, which I just water loaded. So how a water load works is so you weigh in on Friday. So Monday, I drank 2 gallons of water. Tuesday, I drank 2 gallons of water. Wednesday, I drank 2 gallons of water. And Thursday, I drank a gallon of water by 1 o'clock, and then nothing after that. Nothing until you weigh in
No,
Friday
no
night.
liquids or foods.
No,
Wow.
nothing. If anything, you throw an ice cube in your mouth and swirl it around and spit it out.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think I had messaged you, and I was at like
Yeah.
26 or 27 hours with
And it was
no food
yeah.
or
I think
no
now I think I
water.
look back. I didn't really register at the time. You said no water and no food.
Yeah, nothing.
I didn't think about that. Every time I've fasted, it's been water and coffee and
No,
electrolytes. Like it
nothing.
was nothing. No liquids
Yeah, because a
either.
lot of it's the water weight. So what you
Ooh,
do
yeah.
is with that water load. So I said drink two, 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 and one. Yeah, two, 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 and one. Um, is you get your body on that restroom schedule of like peeing all the time, like you're dumping all this water
Oh
into
yeah.
you, and it's nonstop, and then you go cold turkey with nothing, and then your body, it basically tricks your body into keeping that same system over the next 2 days,
So you're
and
still peeing it all out,
yes,
but you're not
but you're
replacing it.
not replacing it. So yeah, I think we went from so at the peak of my water cut. So on like Wednesday, I think I was at 172, and by Friday night, I weighed in at like 160.8. So
Water cut is crazy to me. I never thought about a water cut where you don't even
yeah,
drink water.
yeah, it was brutal.
Whoo,
Needless to
that
say,
is.
like so Friday, I took a half day off work, um, and I came in. So when I came in that morning, I was at like 18, 19 hours, something like that, with no food or water. So like I was feeling it by then, and like my manager's super cool, dude. He's so like
Mhm.
one of the coolest dudes I've ever worked for. He came up to me, he was like, "You feel like shit, don't you?" I was like, "Is it obvious?" And he was like, man, he said, we're not that busy today. He's like, you just want to cut out, and I think we had like I had a very small amount of work to do. I was like, man, I'll get this knocked out, and then after that, I'll cut out. So like, I ended up finishing whatever I was doing, and then I got out of there. So I got back home at like 8 in the morning, something like that. Super early, and dude, like, I didn't even lay back down in bed. Like, I laid down on the floor until
Wow.
and what was brutal though is like I laid down on the floor and like just kind of from like 8 until I think I got to the gym because we went to the gym first to check everybody's weight and then we all ride together from there. I went to the gym at like 3 something, 3:30, something like that, and because weigh-ins were at 5. Um, and I got there and I was still like a pound and a half over, something like that. Like, no, I don't think it was a pound and a half. I think I was like a pound and a couple ounces over. And I had to at this point I was like 28 hours or whatever with no food or no water, and I had to throw a hoodie on and hit cardio for like 30 minutes.
Because you were a little bit overweight.
Yeah, because to try to sweat the rest of it out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so like I was hoodie on, hitting pads, like.
I bet you felt like a little stick.
Oh, dude,
I bet
yeah.
you felt like there was no power behind anything. I don't lift fasted because I feel so weak. Like I don't have fuel. It's like I'm literally pulling from my body to do that. I like to do a little bit of cardio fasted, but I mean it's rough when you don't have any fuel. It's rough. You don't feel like yourself. You don't feel full and strong.
Oh, dude, that first bite of food.
Yeah, you probably went rabid after you got food. You probably just couldn't stop yourself.
So the weigh-ins was at Buffalo Wild Wings. So like after I did my weigh-in, I was like I like sat down and coach he's like what are you ordering? I was like one of everything. he was like no, he was like I'm ordering you a chef salad. So
yeah,
he was like I was like whatever.
I love that.
Give me a chef salad.
At Mexican restaurants where I get that chef salad and I go crazy. The diet I've been on, that if I get sugars or kind of like fatty like barbecue and stuff, I can't control myself. I've cut it for so long that when I do start getting it, I go feral and I just keep going. I keep going and I cannot stop myself. So I can't imagine 20. You did how many hours was the total fast?
Man, it was pretty close to 30. It
30.
It may not have been right at it. So I went from. Let me do the math. So I stopped at 1:00 on Thursday, and I weighed in at like we had to be there at 5, but I don't think the actual weigh in was like till 6:15, something like that. So see, 1-to-1 would have been 24 hours. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 5 hours, so 29 hours.
29 hours. That's longer than I've ever gone. I've gone to about 18, and I stopped there. But I'm not trying to cut weight for a fight or anything.
But needless to say, like,
you think that has health benefits? You think that's good or bad for your health?
Honestly, that wasn't a hard cut. Yeah. It sounds bad, but it honestly wasn't a hard cut.
Fasting is kind of a spiritual experience. Like it resets your body and your brain to, it makes you appreciate your meals.
Yeah.
Because you start realizing these are keeping me alive.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm just, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna get some food. I normally eat at this time of the day. It's like, no, this food is keeping me alive. If I don't have this, I will die, or at least will feel terrible for a while until I do get the food.
But yeah, that honestly wasn't a hard cut, and like this next cut, I'll be a lot smarter with, since it's like at 155. What I'll do is, so the fight's supposed to be in September, not supposed to be, it's gonna be in September. So like I'll clean my diet up. See, we're at July, September, at the middle of August, end of August. Because the fight's at the end of September, I'll like clean my diet up. Like I'll go to like chicken and broccoli. No.
Can you feel the difference when you clean your diet up?
Yes and no.
I can.
I know you can. Like,
I can.
Which
it's hard for me to go back now.
Yeah.
Because I'm addicted to this amount of energy that I've got. This like lean feeling I've got, and how I feel after I finish the meal. I'm not nearly as, like, when I eat good foods, I'm not nearly as knocked down, like sluggish, like, oh, it's time to go lay down. It's like, oh, I need to keep going.
Yeah.
I've got more to do.
Yeah.
At night, my big meal at night, that does kind of knock me down a little bit. I get kind of tired. And I mean, honestly, when I break my fast, I feel a wave of, a little sluggishness, but it's easy to get myself up and go walk or go lift or do something active again, and then that feeling goes away.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm right back in it. But with bad foods, it takes a while to get going again. It's like greasy stuff sitting on me. I'm sluggish. The heat will wear me down. I don't. It's weird to say, but I don't know if I can't really see myself going back. Yeah. I mean, I might fall off at some point and not be doing it again, but it's hard for me to see myself going back.
I like sugar.
Yeah, I mean, and sugar
I,
is a
like,
tool. It's a tool. It's a drug, but I consider drugs as tools. If you use it right, it's good.
but it's
Easily abused.
so that's definitely like my worst benefits. My diet, dude. Like, you know how I told you I ate breakfast already? It's like 3 chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. You would if you ever did it for real,
Yeah, no,
you would probably go up a level. I look at it
but
as like levels to
yeah,
basically life and your health and your brain. Go up a level,
I
and it's
I probably
crazy.
will. Like, you know, I start getting a little bit bigger into this fight stuff. I may keep a more consistent diet year round instead of just doing
Yeah,
it like in fight camps, like leading up to fights and weight cuts. But yeah, like once I start this clean, it'll go like literally. I'll eat grilled chicken, broccoli, and some boiled eggs,
yeah.
eggs in general. Um, so, and I'll run off that, and like that'll cut a lot
You get
off of
carbs
me.
too.
Yeah,
Rice. You gotta get carbs.
I cut my carbs when I'm cutting
Well, yeah. I mean,
to an
cut them
extent.
a
Like,
little bit,
yeah,
but I'm talking about throughout your not pre-fight, just your training, your daily lifestyle. That's what gives you the energy to let
yeah,
you to
I
let you
know.
keep going.
So, but yeah, like I, I'll cut all that, and that'll be my diet for about a month, and then like that'll cut a lot off me, and then I may do like a six. I try to get it within like 8 pounds. I can cut 8 pounds of water pretty easily.
Yeah. Are you on creatine or any type of
Mm-mm.
any of that? Is that a banned substance in fighting? I don't think so. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
think
it's
so.
pretty universal of like,
Yeah,
but it
I
does
don't
makes you
think
hold a
so.
lot of water weight.
Yeah, no.
It puts on like 5 to 10 pounds of water weight. Um, do you want to compete for a belt?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like we're especially like we're getting to the point now, especially with that promotion I fight with in Jackson, uh, Lane Rowe, which is in Jackson. He's that guy. Like he's the one that
Yeah.
everybody knows. I think he's after me and him fought on the same card this past
Mm-hmm.
weekend, weekend before last, and and like I think after that fight he moved to like 7-1 as an amateur, but he's on like a 7 fight win streak. You know, he hasn't lost since his debut.
Oh, he's
Um,
undefeated, or he lost his debut.
Lost his debut. That's what I'm saying. He's like 7-1,
Okay.
but he's like on a 7 fight win streak. Like just super technical guy, dude. Like he's good. Like he's really good. I think he's third in the state. In my opinion, he should be higher, but um, and man, nobody wants to fight him. I mean, I think they said that they went through 55 people before somebody said yes to him. And this past card, like went through a lot of people. So I win this next fight in September. You know, they say, hey, nobody wants to fight him.
Yeah.
Throw him my way. I don't say no to nobody.
And I mean, coming from your position, you don't have as much to lose. Like
Oh no, not
you
at
don't have
all.
the belt.
Not at all.
That would be a cool experience for you to be the challenger.
Uh,
Like not the
yeah,
champion versus challenger. You're the
yeah.
challenger, the underdog. Like
And like I said, like right now with where I'm at, and I think I said that. Like I don't know if you heard my like post fight speech afterwards, but Brandon asked me what was next for me. Brandon's he's the podcast guy over in Jackson. He's the one that does
I'm the
the
podcast guy.
he's the one that does the fight commentary and like stuff like that in Jackson for that promotion. And he asked me what was next, and like I kept it humble. And I just let him know. I was like, hey, everybody around here knows who the top dog is. He's the one getting ready for this main event back here. I was like, give me whoever you want me to fight next, but I'm climbing my way to him. So
That's cool. That's
I was,
cool for you to have like steps to look forward
yeah,
to. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps me going in my fitness and stuff too. Is I
yeah,
see like I'm starting to see the future in my
yeah,
head. Like I'm starting to see my build in my body, and it's exhilarating to like have stuff to like
yeah.
climb towards and look forward to.
And I'm right now like I'm in my game, or I'm in that mindset right now. And I think I've said this to a couple people is like I don't know what it is right now, but there's a certain level of confidence I'm
You feel
carrying with
locked in.
myself. Well, like dude, I feel like whoever you put in the octagon with me, I can beat them. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Um, I just feel like I'm right there right now. Like I feel like my striking's coming together good. I feel like I'm calm in there. Um, I mean, I'm two first round finishes in a row. Yeah, I just feel pretty locked in right now. I feel like
What percent locked in are you?
uh, about 115. You know.
115, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I just feel, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders. And I'm just calm. Like I don't care where the fight goes. Like if we stay
Right.
standing, I feel good there. If it hits the ground, I mean, I think if you watch this last fight, I don't know if you've like watched the actual um like live stream of it.
I think I did.
I think I may have sent it to you. I got it on my phone. I'll show you
I
afterwards.
think I
But
watched it in Discord.
like if you watch my face, like when he ties up with me, because I came in, I threw something, and he grabbed double unders, and like my face almost looks bored. Like
Right.
and it's not, but I'm just like I'm so calm in there. Like I was just like, he grabbed double unders. I really didn't want to. I wanted to strike a little bit more with him, but when he grabbed out double unders, I was like, all right, let's do
I could
this.
see that. You asked
I
me how it looked after the fight, and I
Yeah, like
said,
I dig my double unders. I get the body lock. He goes to, I think he tried to hit me with the Uchimata, maybe a Haragoshi. I can't remember, but he tried to hit me with the judo throw, and I just kind of like stepped out of it, and then I hit him with an inside trip, and like
it's crazy
just
seeing how far you've come to, because I could tell the difference of you were planning things this
yeah,
last fight. You were like trying to set certain things up, not as much of
yes,
like
yeah,
I'm gonna win any way I can, or like I'm just gonna I'm gonna go after him. I'm gonna do this. It was like you were trying to set things up, and you were
yeah,
very calm, and you were like, okay, he's doing this. He's forced me into this. I can't really carry out my original plan.
yeah.
Like
It's just like I said, like right now, just where I'm at with my game, I just feel like wherever it goes, like let's
right.
go. Um,
And I think
cool.
that's probably the safest way to be
Yeah,
is not trying to force too much, like not trying to force a knockout in the first round because I called that and that's what I really want. Like
yeah.
you gotta take what's given to you. Um, how does it feel to be kind of a celebrity the night after the fight? I saw you after the fight. You still had we were at the damn rodeo and you still had your fucking hand wraps
I was
on,
fully
the
geared.
medal, like the pre-fight attire or whatever. And I said, there ain't no way, bro. Stepped out in his fighting attire. That shit was
I was still
hilarious.
fully
But
geared.
I felt it and I saw it. Like people
Yeah,
walking up to you, like, "Hey man, good fight, good job," like this and that. And I
yeah.
was like, "Oh shit!" And you told me you were like, "This is that shit right there. Like this is
It's
one
cool.
of the things I love about it."
It's super cool. Like just so like I'm at the point now where like I'm building a little fan base
Yeah,
and it's cool. I love it because dude, I mean I love one, I'm a social person as
mm-hmm.
is. Like it's weird. I'm a social introvert. Like I'm very like, keep to myself, but at the same time, like I love when people come up and start talking to me. That makes no sense, contradicting, but I don't know. It's hard to explain,
I
but
think
like,
I experience both too. It just
yeah,
depends on
yes, it depends on mood.
the situation
Um,
too, and who walks up to you and
yeah,
talks to you.
but it's cool. Like the residual effect. For example, dude, like 2 days ago, yesterday maybe. What's today? Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
Friday. No, Saturday because it was after work. Saturday. So it was yesterday. Went out to eat at Mojo's, and we're like, what, 2 weeks out from that fight now? Like, and I'm sitting there eating. Dude comes up to me, dude, I watched you at your fight the other night. Man, man, that's awesome. You fought a guy. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're the fight before that. He's like, I told him. So it's like cool, like stuff like that.
I
Um,
told him. Some friends you are. I guess he's being real with him.
but yeah, he was like, it's cool though, like
It's
just
cool. People
being
definitely know
out in
you in the
public.
fighting world
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like,
out in public, and I love the relationships it builds in general. Like, dude, like I have so many friends. Like, obviously from my own gym, like, dude, we're family over there. I
yeah,
mean, that's as close knit of a gym as you'll find around here. I mean, we're so family oriented at our gym. But like even the relationships you build outside of the gym, outside of your own gym, like man, like I said earlier, the Memphis Judo and Jiu Jitsu guys, like I got a couple homies over there. They're actually fighting next weekend. I'm gonna tune in to watch that. But the relationships you build with them, and not just I've said them. That's just because that's the ones I've interacted with the most the last couple of days. Because obviously, like I said, we were in the same corner last week, so we're backstage with each other the whole time, like chopping it up. But like, there's several gyms. Like, there's a gym in Jackson Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Like, I cross train with them and all the time, and like have several really good friends out of that gym now.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I said, the fans, dude. Like, there's one guy. He's been at my last, I think, 3 fights, and every time after the fight, he comes and finds me and takes a picture with me.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's super cool, man. Like I love it. I do. I think you said it best. It's like a kind of a high you get.
Yeah, you ride that.
Yeah.
How long does that last? How long did this most recent time? When did you look up and you're like, okay, it's over. Like, time to move on to the next stuff.
I mean, I was back in the gym. You know, it fought on Saturday. I was back in the gym on Monday. But like, it carries over into that next morning because, you know, you still have people like, I think I woke up to 40, 50 messages that next morning. So like, you know, it carries over. And then after you get by like midday Sunday, you're like, okay. Cool.
Like, okay, yeah, it's time to move on. Like, yeah, I won. I did good.
Yeah.
Everybody was on my wiener. Time to move on to what's next.
But you saw it, I think, because me and you were talking about it at Slide and Ride that night, because I didn't plan on going out. That, by the way, that was like the whole reason. You know, he's making fun of me for my post fight fit. One, hand wraps are tradition. Like, I'm a little weird with my hand wraps, dude. It's like, every time I fight, I don't cut my hand wraps off until I get in bed that night. Like, I get in bed and I'll cut them off, and I got a lot of them saved. So like, if you see me after one of my fights, like, I'm rocking the hand wraps. But I had, so the official post fight party for the promotion, because Slide and Ride was a sponsor for Hope City that night, was at Slide and Ride. So like, I had a bunch of guys that I'm friends with that fought on the card and stuff like that. They were all gone there. So I had a bunch of guys, you know, and then plus like my close friends like you and Garrison and all them, they were all there. So like, you know, I had a lot of friends there. So I was like, which everybody else was tired. We actually hit a different bar before we went there, just like to a couple of people grab some beers, and like we ate a little bit of food, and like just kind of chopped it up just with the team at first. And then after that, like, most people were tired, so I actually, because a lot of us rode together, I took everybody else back to the hotel, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go run over here and hang out with these guys for about an hour. I wasn't there long.
Show a face, you know, especially like that night. All you have to do is step in, and people start seeing you and come up. Oh
yeah, you know,
it's not like you have to try to make a big. You don't have to make a big entrance. Like, you're him for the night.
But like, you know, Slide and Ride has a strict dress code. Like, if you're not wearing jeans or stuff like that, you can't get in. And I'm like, I didn't bring anything. Like, I brought like sweatpants to wear around the hotel and my fight gear. So like, I called ahead. I was like, look, I just fought over here in Jackson. I know y'all are sponsoring tonight. I talked to the owner, Doug, and I was like, man, I talked to Ryan. He said the post fight party was there. Like, you know, I don't have clothes. You know, I'm an hour away from the house. Like, I don't have clothes to put on to come. I was like, is it cool? He's like, you just got done fighting? I was like, yeah, like, literally just got done fighting. He's like, man, come on. I was like, cool, I'm still in my fight gear.
So yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So I was like, you know, you'll
that's
see
cool.
me.
That's kind of
that's like, wow,
that's
like, in my fight gear.
That's like celebrity treatment a little bit. I'm sure you felt good after that too. Like, oh shit, like, I'm really doing something.
Well, which I still rocking the medal. The medal was a little overkill.
The medal was kind of crazy.
It was a little overkill. Hey, but it was an attention grabber. Oh, yeah, I mean, how many people? I mean,
nobody else was dressed like that. Nobody else. I mean, there might have been other fighters there, but I didn't know who they were.
No,
I couldn't recognize them. I couldn't point them out. Like, I didn't know if they won or lost or anything.
Yes, it is a little.
No, I think that was cool. I enjoyed that. It gave me a laugh, bro. And I mean,
that's actually the main reason I did it. Was for the jokes.
It's for the effect too of like, oh, that's obviously the fighter. He obviously just fought. There ain't no question about it. They don't just hand those medals out anywhere. Okay, so back to the training a little bit. Do you think you can make me a beast?
Oh, for sure.
I don't really know how I want to ask this either. How long until in 6 months of training
you would see the effects?
Oh, I know I would see the effects, but I can't see myself in the future how good I would be in 6 months.
You would feel the effects. I'll put it that way. Like, you get to that point at 6 months. If you hit it consistently, you'll feel different in public. It's hard to explain, but like there's just a little bit of different, like, almost comfort level. You feel like, Because I mean, you feel like you can handle any situation that,
Mm-hmm.
that pops off, and I know
And it
you have
probably,
the people. Oh, what if they have a gun? Yada yada yada. Cool. I got my concealed carry too, but
yeah.
like I'd like to not have to avert to my concealed carry if I if I don't have to. So like being able to know that I can confidently subdue somebody. So for example, I sent you the video when I left Slide and Ride that night, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I told you that dude tried fighting me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for example, a drunk guy at a bar. This is the this is it's funny because this is what
Classic
my
scenario.
because like we're an MMA gym. Like we have several MMA fighters. But we also have several people that train just for the aspect of health and self defense. So like coaches go to analogy anytime he's explaining a detail and why we don't want to do certain things, stuff like that. Is the drunk guy at the bar comes up to you? Well, oddly enough, I'm not a big drinker, so like I don't drink. Like when I went out the other night, I didn't drink. I'm normally always the DD. Um, and by choice. Like I'll drink a beer every now and then, but like just not big into it. Um, so I was sober and like I was leaving the bar that night. I'd made my rounds. I had said what's up to everybody. Talked to some of my buddies that fought that night. Me and Josh talked for a while. Some of my other buddies like that. But as I'm walking out the door, this drunk guy at the bar, he steps on my shoe, which also, let me note, I'm wearing white Crocs.
Yeah, that was another part of
like
the
that was another part
no
of the
socks.
yeah, like I'm full fight gear. Because like that's it's I just throw slip on shoes on because it's easy to get off when you step into the octagon. But anyways, and like dude like steps on the back of my like Croc, and like I don't think anything about it. Like I turn around and like me being the non-confrontational person I am, haha, funny because I'm a fighter. Like I turned around, I was like, he stepped on my shoe. I was like, oh my bad, bro. And it was like, yeah, and like kept walking. Like that was it. That was it for me. And like I get to the door and like the woman, because me and her had talked at the one that was that checked everybody in, was taking cards and stuff. It was pretty cool. She let me in for free. So like I'd stopped and said something to her. I was like, thank y'all guys. See y'all. You have a good night. And like as I hit the door, I hear somebody start screaming like top of their lungs behind me, and like I like turn around and it's the dude that stepped on my Crocs, and like he's in somebody's face like pointing at him like you mf yada yada yada, and all of a sudden out of nowhere the security guard like grabs him by the throat and like
two-handed, like
two-handed,
oh,
like
God.
like rape choke, like grabs him by the throat and like drives him like the length of that that little hallway when you're walking in, and probably 10-15 feet, and like drives him, and like I'm like at the door, like I'm holding the door open, and it's a double door, so like I'm like holding the one door open, and he like just drives him back. It's some big dudes. Like his security guards was big. The guy, he was not massive, but he was big, and like he like grabs him by the throat and like drives him all the way out and like hits the door I'm not holding, and like it slings open and they just hit the concrete like right in front of me. And at that point I started videoing, and like because I was like man, ain't nobody gonna believe this. So I started videoing and send the video to Josh, but basically it's like the security guards just roughing this dude up. Like it was a little
two of them.
Yeah, it was three of them. It was like, yeah, it was a little rough. And
yeah, those security guards can get a little.
Yeah, and
he followed you out to the parking lot.
So yeah. So that happens. I actually stopped videoing because I'm like, well, the security guards are gonna get mad at me. I'll stick my phone in my pocket. But like, I'm sitting here still holding the door open. Like
You're
happening.
pretty close with that video too.
Oh, it's happening like at my feet.
Yeah, you were like right here.
It's happening at my feet, and like I'm just kind of watching. Finally, they let the dude up, and they had split his eye open. So like he was like bleeding. Like they had split his eyebrow. He was bleeding from the eyebrow. Obviously drunk, like he's very intoxicated, and he like gets up. He's like, "Oh, do y'all know who I am?" Yada yada yada. He starts like flipping tables and stuff, like the metal detector outside of Slide and Ride. He like tips it over. Yeah, like he's causing a scene. He's like, "I'll f every one of y'all up." Yada yada yada.
Yeah, obviously not, buddy.
Yeah.
We just beat the shit. out of
But
you.
anyways, so all that happens, and like he's like backing across the parking lot. Well, about that time, two of my friends walk out. And I kind of hop in behind them, I'm like, yo, I was like, we walked out at the right time, right? And they kind of laughed and they're like, yeah, it looks like it. And like at this point, like we're walking across the parking lot. He's kind of like trailing beside us, like close to us, and like he turns and like kind of like goes in to like split us, like because me and my one friend like walking side by side, and like he like goes to like split us, and when he does, um, I'm like being respectful, like I was being super nice. I was like, because obviously he was drunk, so I was, you know, and I was like, you okay, buddy? I was
You
like,
tell
you
me you were
know,
talking to him like a little kid because
yeah,
he was
yeah,
so
like,
drunk.
yeah. I was like, you okay, buddy? And like when I said that, he like snatches me up. He like grabs me by my shirt, and he's like, yeah, I'm all right, motherfucker. And I'm like, whoa, like
Don't
at
touch
that,
me.
yeah, yeah. At that point, like, man, he snatched me hard. So like, first instinct, I was like it kind of made me mad a little bit
Right.
just because of how
He
hard
was
he
trying to
grabbed
trigger
me.
you.
And I was like, wait a second. So like, I immediately went like self defense,
I can't let you get close.
yeah, martial artist Michelle Sonnen and Vondelay Silva. I'm not letting you get
I
close.
can't let you get close.
Yeah. So like, I like kind of like break his grip, and I just start like backing up like across the parking lot. And I'm like, dude, I was like, you better calm down. I was like, I didn't do nothing to you. I was like, I was being super respectful. I was like, and I made the comment because like,
You got the medal. You got the. You
I'm
still got the hand wraps. You
still
got the
hand wrapped
wraps.
up with my medal on. And I'm like, big dog. I was like, these hand wraps ain't for show. Like,
You got to be a crazy level of drunk to
To
like
be-
somebody who has hand wraps already on and a medal from where they just won their fight, and you're not trained. You just
Yeah.
you're a drunk guy at the bar. You got to
Yeah.
be stupid drunk
but
to
like,
pick a fight.
yeah, like, so initially, like, it kind of made me mad. So like, I did say that, and I shouldn't have said that. But I was like, dude, I was like, these hand wraps ain't for show. I was like, you better chill out. And he was like, oh, F you up. He's like, you know how long I've been doing this? And like, dude's wife was like walking right there too. I was like, dude, you better get him. I was like, he's gonna end up getting hurt. And at this point, he's like marching me down. Like he's like following me across the parking lot. I'm like backing up, like with my hands up, like I'm ready to catch something if he throws it. And I'm like, dude, I was like, like you're being way too aggressive right now. I was like, you better calm down. And he's like, I'm not being aggressive. I was like, dude, you are. I was like, you're being very aggressive. I was like, I was being respectful. I was like, I was checking on you, like saying, hey, you okay? And I was like, you got all aggressive with me. And he was like, I'm being your friend. I was like, no, you're not. And he like sticks his hand out to shake my hand. I'm like, yeah. I was like, you're somewhat coming down now. I was like, I'll shake your hand. And when I grab his hand to shake it, he like squeezes it and like tries to pull me in. And, like I immediately like break the grip. I'm like, dude, I was like, I'm not letting you get close to me. I was like, chill out. He like keeps trying to mark me out. I'm like, dude, back up. Like I'm not letting you get within arm's reach of me. And his wife was like, they did not have to do that to him. I was like, I agree. I was like, it was a little over the top. I was like, but like, I'm not the enemy.
Yeah,
And,
they're trying to fight me.
I was like, I didn't do anything. I was being nice. And I like look at him. I'm like, man, I was like, look, I said, go home, get in bed. I was like, you'll feel better tomorrow if you sleep it off. He's like, I'm not getting an effing bed. Like all aggressive. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, at least go home and get your eye cleaned up. I was like, you need to clean your eye up because he had blood like still running down his face. I was like, go home and get your eye cleaned up. I was like, you'll feel better. Like at that point, like I just kind of like back away. Like I'm back over there with my friend and them. I'm like, dude, what the heck? He's like, dude, I know. He's like, I'd already like. He's like, when you said that about the hand wraps, I lost it. I was like, dude, for real. Like I didn't do anything. I was being nice.
That's outrageous. It's a good thing you are nice because I'm sure there's some people.
Oh, dude, there's definitely like there's a bunch of like if it would have been not any of the other fighters, but there's a lot of arrogant fighters that fight.
A lot of people that once he grabbed them, once he makes that
would have been their green light. They would have been like, oh, self defense, and they would have lit
that's a green
him
light,
up.
and to not even they might not beat the hell out of him, but they probably would have stuck him with.
Oh, they would have
jabbed him. They probably would have just jabbed him and seen how he react. Like, stop, bro, or I can do more.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't stop, they're probably like, all right. Bro.
Oh, there would have been people out there that like just there's some.
I mean, obviously he did it to the wrong person. He was yelling at him, and he got his ass beat.
There's some douchey fighters that are out there that would have like. They would have took that green light as a free chance to piece somebody up.
In the world, that kind of is green light. Is if they initiate contact, like you basically have the right to defend yourself.
That's what I told Coach. I was like, you would have been proud of me. I was like, I was a responsible martial artist. Yeah. I was like, right. I diffused the situation.
Yep. So I mean, you already had one fight. Like you probably weren't looking for a damn another one that night. But that's pretty much all the questions that I have. Do you have anything else you want to add to the podcast?
Man, me and Lindo got a little fight recap, fight review.
Yeah, we got it. We're gonna do a fight recap. I gotta figure out kind of the structure I want to do that. We're gonna look back at Austin's fights together, and we're gonna let him kind of recap, review, analyze his old fights. But I appreciate you for coming on the podcast, man. Sweet. This is episode 2. Like and subscribe to the video, to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out Dogwood, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Dyersburg, Tennessee. Shout out Austin Little. Shout out Hundo Gang. Thanks for being here. We'll see y'all next time.
Sweet. See y'all guys.